The terror in Gavardon had only grown darker. What began as whispers in candlelit homes was now a scream carried across the hills and valleys. The beast struck with unrelenting fury, leaving bodies so torn apart that even seasoned hunters trembled at the sight. Priests prayed harder. Mothers clutched their children as if their arms alone could shield them. And men who once mocked the stories now sharpened their blades in silence, too afraid to laugh. The boy, scarred not just in flesh but in spirit, found himself once more at the center of the storm. He had survived what others had not, and for that reason villagers looked to him as if he were chosen. Yet with that gaze came a crushing burden, for he did not feel chosen but cursed. He awoke often in the night, his body drenched in sweat, reliving the moment he saw the monstrous shape in the undergrowth, eyes glowing, fangs dripping, the sound of death carried on its growl. He would stare at the ceiling, unable to breathe, the memory so sharp it clawed at his mind. Hunters roamed the forests in groups, yet each week news arrived of another victim. Some swore they had seen the beast rise up like a demon, tall as a man, moving not with the clumsy gait of an animal, but with a horrifying intelligence. Others claimed it vanished like smoke, leaving no trace but blood. The king's soldiers were dispatched, armed with muskets and ordered to slay the creature. Yet even they returned shaken, insisting that bullets could not kill what they had faced. The boy watched them march through the village, armor gleaming in the sun, their faces proud and bold, but he could see in their eyes the cracks of fear. He, too, carried fear, but also a strange defiance. For each time he remembered the beast lunging from the shadows, he also remembered that he had lived, that he had denied death itself. That thought both comforted and terrified him. If he had been spared, was it chance or something darker? Whispers spread that perhaps the boy had been marked, chosen not as prey but as a witness, forced to live so the horror would never die. He tried to ignore these whispers, yet when he stood alone in the fields and felt the wind cut through the grass, he swore he could hear the distant pant of breath, the sound of padded feet circling unseen. The villagers clung to hope that the king's men would finally end it. But the boy knew in his bones the nightmare was not so easily slain. The forest seemed alive, the trees groaning, shadows stretching longer than they should, every sound of rustling leaves carrying menace. He began to fear even daylight, for the beast had learned to strike at any hour, uncaring of sun or moon. And as dusk painted the sky with streaks of blood, he felt it watching him once more, closer than ever, as though the beast was not finished with him, as though the true horror was only just beginning.